Oh, come on.
Well, hey everyone, what's going on? My name is Jeremy. I'm one of the pastors here at the Bridge, and let me tell you, we have got a special treat for you. We have a special Father's Day edition of Storytellers. As you might know, we are a storytelling church. It plays a huge role in who we are and what we do here. I'm joined with Scott Landry. Scott's the lead pastor here at the Bridge. He's best known for being the main communicator. He is also an avid collector and a rabid sports fan. Scott, welcome.
Thanks for having me. This is crazy. I can't believe we're going to do this. I don't even know what to say. It's going to be wild.
Scott, how are you around hot things? I've heard rumors that you're not too good with the kiss of the chili. How do you think tonight's going to go?
I am not good with hot stuff. I like it on the front end, and that's about it. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go down, to be honest with you.
That's awesome. Well, listen, one of our values around here is to be comfortably uncomfortable, and my hope is that this is one of the most, if not the most, comfortable, uncomfortable interview that you've ever done. You see, we got some water, some ice cubes, we got the milk on hand, just to get you through this lineup.
I'm gonna need some Pepto, some toilet paper, maybe some diapers. I don't know how this is gonna. Oh, if I can smell it already, it's this is gonna be something. Definitely gonna be the most uncomfortable I've ever been talking in public or on video for sure. This is gonna be something.
Started.
Let's do it. All right.
All right. First wing, make sure to start with the left hand.
All right. Here we go. All right. Wing one. This is the classic, right?
Yeah. How's that for you? Not bad. Starting out nice and low. So first question. So many of the people watching today might not know that you've said openly around the office that you would do anything for money. Now, just so everybody knows, he's not getting paid to do this, but I had a question for you. What is the craziest thing that you have ever done, and how much did it cost to get you to do it?
I don't even know if I can. That's a good question. It's true. I'm very competitive. Have been known to do stupid things for money, just because when people dare me to do something, I have a hard time saying no. Just the competitive juices start kicking in. And I think the craziest thing I ever did, I was in college, and I was home, and my brother had some friends over, and I was trying to get some money together. There was a pair of Air Jordan sneakers that had just come out, and I really wanted them. Been known to have a few pairs, and but didn't have the money, and so they were joking around like, "Oh yeah, Scott to do stupid stuff for money," and I'm like, "Well, how much money do you guys have?" And I was like, and because they were drinking, they were feeling good and everything, so they just kept throwing money in the pot to get me to do this thing. And so what they wanted me to do was they wanted me to streak down our street, and my brother had this little red moped, like it was like a little scooter. And so he wanted to follow me, like honking the horn with the light on while I ran down the street buck naked. So they came up, and I just said, "Well, how much are you going to give me?" And they were like, "Oh, we'll give you $20." I'm like, "Oh, $20." And I kept egging it on like I wouldn't do it, or if I would do it if they came up with enough money. And so I actually ended up getting them to front the money for the entire, the cost of the shoes. And I ran down the street buck naked, and my brother was on his scooter honking the horn, so like getting people's attention, like why is somebody honking the horn?
Oh wow.
And I put on a show for some people and got some Jordans out of it. So
that's pretty crazy. It's good to
One
know.
time, never again.
That's
never
some
again.
dangerous. That's some dangerous information in the hands of people watching today, that they know that there is no price that's too high.
No price is too high.
All right, that's awesome. All right, well, let's jump into the second wing. We got some more questions for you. This is a good one. A little bit of fruit notes in this, little spicy, still keeping it light for this journey.
Bliss and vinegar, it's called. All right, let's give this a go here. So It's not bad. We're at number 2.
Yeah.
This is we're probably at the threshold of Scott's limit right
All
now.
right.
So yeah, this is probably.
So it's going to be a long journey this evening.
Yeah, this is going to. Yeah.
So the Bridges vision statement, as people know who are watching and you know, is that we are all about building irresistible bridges between the unchurched and Jesus. Now, I'm wondering, could you unpack for people a little bit about why we chose to use the word irresistible? It seems like a really strong word to use, to throw in there. Irresistible, I don't know about these wings. I don't know if you call these wings
they're pretty resistible right now.
But how would you unpack that for people?
Oh, that's a good question. To try to answer that, I guess I would ask you another question. Do you like hamburgers?
I love hamburgers.
Okay, so do you like McDonald's then?
No.
But I thought you liked hamburgers.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? Why not McDonald's?
They're just not, I don't know. I don't want to get into it on the screen, right? I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, this isn't sponsored.
Exactly. Yeah, I just don't like that.
No,
I find them just not put together well.
So I think when you think about a hamburger, when you think of McDonald's, I would say that it's probably one of the cheapest hamburgers you can get. It's probably one of the most accessible hamburgers you can get. Like you can go to McDonald's anywhere, there's one just about on every corner. And yet as someone who loves hamburgers and you want a hamburger, that's probably not the first place. It might even be the last place you go. When you think of, at least when I think of hamburgers, I think Five Guys, The Works, here in Ottawa. And I think of that because their ingredients are better, the way they're made is better, the attention to everything. And so I consider that to be an irresistible burger. And McDonald's as well. I've eaten it, but I don't really need to have it. I think when it comes to churches, not to downplay or diminish other things that other churches do, but for many of us, I think many times as churches, we create resistible experiences and resistible environments because we're not thinking about the people that we're trying to reach when we do the things that we do. And so for us, irresistible is just a piece of this statement that says we desire to build irresistible bridges between unchurched people and Jesus. And so we've all been in churches and around churches where you walk in and the greeters are cold and they're not paying attention to people. They're not even friendly people. You go into the auditorium and the music is like, you're kind of like doing this the whole time. Maybe the speaker is kind of drab, puts you to sleep. Hopefully I don't do that. But we create resistible experiences and environments. And for us, we're not trying to build bridges to the church. We're trying to build bridges to Jesus. And so we recognize that people, the people that we put forward, the people we put on the platform, in the lobbies, the environments we create, those are bridges to help people get to Jesus and see Jesus for who he is and who he wants to be to them. So for us, we recognize that people are going to have an experience with us before they have an encounter with him. And so it puts the responsibility on us to build irresistible bridges, to do the very best we can and pay attention to the things that we need to pay attention to because of who we're paying attention to and who we're trying to reach.
Shall we jump into Wing 3? We've already reached Scott's threshold.
Yeah. We're right at the peak. Like we're right at Mount Mordor for me. Like this is it.
All right, let's take another notch forward in the journey of wings.
Let's do the Hoff, man. The Hoff. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
I like that.
Nice and smoky.
Yeah,
Not too hot.
That's actually pretty good, man. I like that.
Catches up a little bit at the end.
I think they're all going to catch up in the end.
Yeah, it says a little hello.
Yeah. The Hoff. That guy's handmade batches. Nice.
Well, all right. So the next question has to do with a place called Kingswood University. And it's actually where our worship pastor and his wife just graduated from. It used to be called Bethany Bible College. I think it was around 2011 that it changed its name.
Yep.
You graduated from Bethany Bible College in the year 2000. Now, man, it makes us feel old, right? Just fun fact, Ryan and his wife were born after.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
we were born, or we were graduated.
I know, right?
So the question for you is, during your time at Bethany Bible College, you were told something that impacted you significantly.
Right.
And I would love for you to unpack what it was that you were told and how that has impacted you in your journey to where you are now.
Wow. It's right in my hometown. So I knew of this school. It was on the hill, but never went there. But definitely Bethany played an integral role in my upbringing, in my growth, and my ministry, really. And just me as a person. I think I went there naive in a lot of respects. Went there, didn't have a lot of church history. I didn't grow up in the church, so I didn't know a lot of the way churches work, the protocols, kind of the way people carried themselves as people who had been around churches for years and stuff. So I kind of was different right from the very beginning when I went there, and it took me a while to kind of find my place. And so I was going to, classes about, church history and learning, different languages and all these different kind of things, and preaching classes and learning how to preach and all this different stuff, and having really no context for any of that. And so I remember one of the deans at the school in my third year, he brought me in for a one-on-one meeting, which those are always fun with the deans, right? So he brought me in, and so he started talking to me, and kind of got right to the point, and he was just like, I really think that you should, consider pursuing, another career path.
Wow.
That after observing me for 3 years, he wasn't sure that a church would ever hire me for a lead pastor role, certainly, but maybe for any role. Wow. And he told me that I might want to look into another career path. And so, that definitely stung a little bit and sat with me. It was one of those things that hurt. And I think over the years I've thought about that moment at a lot of different times, in different respects. And I think I'm at the point now where, looking back, it's been hard to believe it's been 22 years, man.
Wow.
Where does time go? But I think I look back now and I think maybe it was actually a way that he was communicating with me, because he saw something in me that maybe I was wired differently, that maybe, whether it's my competitive nature, whether it's just the way I respond to criticism, and that actually his comments actually lit a fire in me that maybe didn't exist before those comments, and they've kind of stuck with me and fueled me. And not that it's like I'm going to prove him wrong or anything like that, but just like, no, I've been called, and I think it took me a while to process that. So I'd like to think, looking back now, that I won't say that I always thought that was maybe the approach. I think for a long time I carried, some hurt feelings, maybe some bitterness, but I think maybe now, or at least I'd like to believe now, that it was actually wisdom and discernment that he had, that is like, Scott's just wired a little bit differently, maybe got to approach him different than some of the other students. And so whatever it was, it stuck with me, and I'm still here today. I don't know if you can, I could feel the sweat like coming up. Like, I feel like I'm already like 10 minutes into a message and I forgot what I was talking about. And I'm like, I don't even know where we're going.
Well, we're going into wing number 4.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a good one, Los Calientes. It's got a nice citrus nose to it. Not too hot, but let's jump in.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of the people on this show eat this one, and I've heard it's good. So, all right. The rumors are true. That's really good. That's not. It's funny that that's 4th. That doesn't taste as hot as the previous one. I don't know how you taste the difference, but yeah, I like that. There's no cool way to eat a chicken wing, is there?
No, right? It's like we should have done like chicken fingers or something like that. It would have been a lot cleaner. But listen, it's part of the fun. Listen, at the beginning I opened up sharing with everybody that, and they probably know if they're not new, if you're new to the church, we're so glad that you're here, that you're joining us.
Yeah, for sure.
But listen, you're the main communicator.
Right.
And coming up with content each and every week.
Yeah.
Certainly, from the outside, must look like a challenging task. I know I've had the opportunity to be a communicator once in a while, and man, it is something else. And I thought that now would be a good opportunity for you kind of to let us peek behind the curtain.
Okay.
Because I know that there's a lot of communicators that have kind of rhythms and routines and ways in which they kind of get into the flow and create content each and every week. So I'd love if you could just pull back the curtain and let us inside your world for a little bit.
Okay.
And what goes into preparing messages each and every week and to be able to resonate with people that come to our church, especially with our vision to build irresistible bridges.
Yeah, that's been a journey for me, for sure. As I mentioned, going to school and learning how to preach and all those other kind of things. And it's certainly, I'm not doing it the way the textbook told me, for sure. And I think, especially when I first started here with that word irresistible guiding us, when I first started here at the Bridge, a long time ago now, almost 10 years, I was really in the shadow of a giant. Like Alan Summers, the previous lead pastor, is just an incredible communicator, incredible preacher, just so polished, like every time, just home run time, Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. And so when I would fill in for him, there was always the pressure of like, okay, like I want to do him justice and do the people justice. I mean, he's not here, so it's like I want at least to be like, if he's a 10 out of 10, I'd at least like to be like a 4, Right. And so I think early on when I started here, I was trying really hard to wear his shoes, and I was trying to be as close to him as I could be. And I think Alan and his wisdom and his grace, I remember he talked to me one time early on, and he just kind of was talking to me about my style, and he said something to me that stuck with me. He said, Scott, like, you know, you need to be free to find your own voice. You don't have to be me, like you be you, and figure out who that is. And I think one of the things that he also said in that session was, and he was kind of critiquing one of the messages that I'd done, and he was kind of telling me like, you know, that he saw that I'm a storyteller, and he said, you know, I think you should, you know, maybe lean into that, like that maybe your voice. And so I think I've kind of taken that to heart, and other people have, you know, affirmed that over the years. They're like, you know, you're a storyteller, you're a good storyteller, and Lisa tells me that all the time. And so I've really tried to lean into that voice, and to really, so when I'm, you know, taking a text, like I really try to immerse myself in the story or in the text and try to understand, you know, what were people seeing, what were they hearing, what might they have been feeling, what are the questions they would have been asking as this all unfolded in real time for them. And so as I do that and try to internalize the text, then I try to do that and help other people do that when I'm communicating. And so it's like, hey, let me paint a picture for you. Let me tell you, let me give you the context for where these people are and what they're going through. And I think as I do that, or at least what I'm trying to do, is to help people see that their story is actually in that story. And the circumstances might be different, but the feelings and the questions and the thoughts, like all those things are so, it's amazing how applicable they are today. And all of a sudden, for people who think the Bible is boring, the Bible is irrelevant, suddenly as you kind of peel it and show them the story and get them into the story, suddenly they're like, the Bible isn't boring. It's better than any Netflix special there is. There is so much intrigue, there is just so much chaos, and just there's just so much there, and that it's so applicable to our lives today. And the other thing I do and try to do, and this has been something I've always done, even back when I was, you know, first starting out, was there are some people in my life personally. I have a friend who grew up in the church and doesn't go to church anymore. I have a friend who is a pastor's kid who doesn't go to church anymore. And every time I sit down to write a message, I imagine that they're in the room, and I try to ask myself, even though they may not believe what I believe, is this accessible to them? I want to try to give context for the content we're going to talk about. And I think that's helped me here as we've tried to reach unchurched people, is to have those 4 people in mind, and then expecting that there's somebody like them in the room every Sunday. And so that's been my approach. I'm growing, and I hope every week that my best sermon is the one I haven't preached yet.
But it's such a beautiful thing to be able to dive deep and to help people and teach people to dive deep into it and see kind of behind the curtain of all of these, maybe these Bible stories that we grew up hearing or whatever. Having context and seeing that there's real people in real places with real situations is an absolute game changer. It's definitely something that I appreciate about this church.
So it's really about like being authentic to yourself and the way God has wired you. And some people like my style, some people don't. Some people like other styles better, and that's okay. But I'm not going to be somebody I'm not to try to reach somebody. You know, I want to be me as best I can, and try to lean into that as best I can, and learn how to do that the best that I can.
All right. Well, the journey's been fun so far. I think it's about now that we're starting to get a little bit real with the sauces. So let's jump in and do wing number. I think this is wing number 5, right?
Yeah, number 5. Lucky number 5. Hotheads, huh? Yep, that's got a little bit more. The back of the.
Yeah, that didn't really come in gently. Listen, we're going to do a segment now as you eat the rest of your wing called "Explain That, Graham," where we do a deep dive in your Instagram. And I went searching on your Instagram, and we pulled up 2 photos, and we'd love for you to tell the backstory behind these photos.
Okay.
So the first one is this.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So one of the things about being a pastor here at the Bridge I have learned is that you take on numerous roles, hence the chicken wings.
Yeah.
Could you explain to us what is happening with
so
Elf on the Shelf?
That was Elf on the Shelf. That was Christmas probably 2018, and Alan was doing this message and wanted to do something creative, and so we did some acting where I was a live action Buddy the Elf or Elf on the Shelf. And so we did some videos, of what it would be like when the kids go to bed and the elf gets up and does stupid things. And so it was just kind of one of those creative things we did for Christmas. But it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
All right, this next photo. So obviously,
Oh,
people
yeah.
know your bride, Lisa, who,
Yeah.
if you don't know her, she's the children's pastor in Bridge Kids and does an
Yeah.
amazing job. But tell us a little bit about it. I see waves and kind of an ocean setting.
Yep.
Tell us about where you are and what's going on in this picture.
Oh, man, I can't wait to go back. That's Lisa and I in Hawaii on our honeymoon. And yeah, love of my life, best friend in the whole world. And we got to take the trip of a lifetime when we got married and spent 12 nights in Hawaii. And that's just us actually at a luau. And yeah, it was a really cool experience.
Awesome.
Can't wait to go back. If I make it through tonight.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we're halfway through the
Yeah.
journey. Let's jump in to wing number 5. I feel like the game is going to continue to change now for you.
Buddy, I can feel it. That last one, huh? Adobo black lime ghost peppers. Hey, that's all right. Yeah, huh? Okay.
All right, well, where are you eating that before we jump into the rest of the wings? A while back, COVID-19 pandemic swept under the scenes.
It
man,
did?
Yeah, everything changed, man.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, in a second, everything changed and our lives were turned upside down. Words like pivot, COVID-19, social distancing, online everything. Now, it's all became part of our speech. Now, as we start to get back to normal, right? As normal as things can be after an experience like that.
Right.
There's some things that have changed, and there's some things that are kind of going back to the way they were. What are some things in your mind that you're not going back to, that you're not going to change, that you're like, this is it, I'm sticking with it?
Yeah, yeah. That one's
a little
coming.
bit warmer.
Them ghost peppers are coming to haunt me. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, obviously pandemic words like pivot. If I never hear, the only time I want to hear the word pivot now is when I watch Friends and I see the couch move. I don't want to hear it in relation to COVID, but I think for me, obviously a lot of things changed. I think the big one is COVID, gave us an appreciation for the things that we've taken for granted for so long. And I think so I think with that, I hope that I never go back and take for granted a lot of the things that I did before. But I think the big word for me that kind of sums up what I hope will never go back for me is anonymity. I never aspired to be, a mega church pastor. Would love to, have a church that grows. And so as a result of that, you've heard me say how many times I've been in the coffee shop or in the grocery store, even at the gym. I was at my gym where only 15 people are in there at a time. And one of the people in the gym came up to me after and said, "Are you the pastor at the Bridge?" Wow. And it was just like, gone are the days where like I can, flip people off at the red light. Not that I did that, but you know what I mean? Like that thing where you can just kind of respond, just out of the norm or whatever.
Right.
Those days are gone. You just have no idea where people are connecting with you and how long they've been connecting with you. We've had people show up for an in-person service that have been with us for 10 months and more.
Wow.
And it just blows my mind. So I think anonymity is out the door, and you just need to carry yourself in a different light these days.
Has there been surprising global
Yeah, well,
connections?
definitely. I mean, we've had people, like I've had new here calls with people in New Zealand, South Africa, Mexico, Maine. Like I didn't even know people lived in Maine still, but like just people, like it's amazing to me, just the reach that we've had with our online, and I'm so thankful for everybody that's kept it going and made it what it is today. So
that's awesome. Well, enough chit chat. Let's jump into wing number. I think we're at wing number 7.
Yeah,
and this is. I think the game's going to change even more.
Here, man. This is not good. This one's green, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit thick on there.
A little bit thick, huh? What even? I can't even say that.
No, that's
Whew!
I like that one.
Oh,
You gonna clean the wing?
the nose is tickling, man. Oh, oh mercy. All right.
All right. So in the beginning, while you clean that wing, in the beginning of this, I mentioned that you are an avid collector, and what people might not know is that you are huge. I mean, like when I say huge, massive Marvel fan.
Yeah.
What they might also not know, and we're going to show a picture on screen, is that you have this collection in your office upstairs. And I know the first time I saw it, my brother saw it, other people see it, they're just like, what is happening here? Tell us a little bit about why you got into collecting figurines. And why
action figures.
Why you continue to do this.
I tell people, I guess, that it's evidence that you can be a nerd and have a hot wife. I think it's kind of the bottom line. But no, I've always been into comic books. Even as a young kid was into comic books, and wow, that's catching up to me, man. I'm sweating, dude. I'm sweating.
Hey, grab some more milk.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
need to. There's some
I
ice
told
cubes in
myself I
that
wasn't going to
jar.
need the milk. Told myself I wasn't going to need the milk. No, was really into comics. Got into drawing because of comics. And as a kid, I kind of went through, not that my story's any worse than anybody else's, but went through a lot of heartache as a kid and was going through a lot. And my mom, she did more and worked way harder than any mom should have had to as a single mom to take care of us. And so I kind of, my comic books were an escape for me. And so everything that I was going through as a kid and, seeing, weak people putting on masks and becoming heroes kind of resonated with me and everything. And I think those characters saved my life as a kid.
Wow.
They were an escape for me, and I could go there. And then years later as an adult, when kind of the wheels fell off of my life and everything was falling apart, that's right when the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, started out. And suddenly, with the release of Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. in that movie, those characters that got me through my childhood were suddenly back in my life when I needed them most. And it was really an escape for me, and they came back to my life when I needed them. So I came across these action figures that are really lifelike.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, and that kind of was, was a hobby kind of thing at first. And then all of a sudden it got really out of control and stupid. But having those characters, and I can sit in my office and I just kind of look at them from time to time, and it takes me, just kind of an escape and something that I hope to share with my son as he gets a little bit older. And but as you notice, Jesus is right there in the middle.
Yeah, he is absolutely
because
there.
as much as I love Spider-Man and he'll always be my favorite, he's not real, but Jesus really did rescue my life. So he's right there front and center in the collection. But it's always conversation piece when people come in. So it's kind of like
that's an awesome story. Well, it certainly was for me and other people I know. Yeah. All right, we're going to head into wing number 7. For those of you who are familiar with Hot Ones, this is Da Bomb. This is separates everyone. I don't know, Scott, if you're going to make it past the no milk clause, but let's jump in and do.
Man, I've heard so many horror stories about this. I've seen
it.
This show so many times. I don't even know if I should touch it. Is it just, oh gosh.
All right, I'll wait for you.
Oh Lord.
You just smell it. It's burning. Here we go.
Oh man. Jesus, be near.
Right, cheers. Wow, that was a big bite.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
All right, well, I've heard that many communicators have a routine before they get on stage.
Oh, they what?
They have a routine before getting on stage. And I've heard, from the rumor mill that you like to listen to a certain song to get your head in the game. How will you let people know what that song is and why it's important to you?
I didn't hear a thing you said. What?
So communicators do something before they kind of jump on stage, kind of get their head in the game. Mm-hmm. I've heard that you listen to a particular song. What is that song?
Yeah.
And why is it meaningful to you?
Oh man. Okay, so I grew up. Oh, that's hot. I grew up playing basketball, and every time before a game we would have warm up, and they'd play crazy music, and it was to get your adrenaline going. So I kind of carried that into preaching, and so before I take the stage, I always turn on Back in Black by AC/DC. And I crank it up, and I just sit, I air guitar, man, I do the whole thing, and just trying to get the blood going. I'm like, I gotta go. So Oceans and all those other awesome songs, listen to way in advance, but right before I come out here to take the stage, it's Back in Black, and that's a fact, and that is freaking hot, man.
So I'm dizzy.
My tongue
It's so hot.
is on fire. Holy cow. You know what I feel like?
Dude, I don't know how.
I feel like on Dumb and Dumber, when they eat the peppers and then they get the mustard. Oh.
All right. All right, well, good job, Scott. You made it through with probably arguably one of the worst ones. Let's jump in. Do wing number 8, and I'm going to ask you your
number
second
9.
last
This
question.
is number 9, man.
Oh, number 9. Thank
We're
goodness.
almost
All right, I'm going to wait for you.
Hellfire.
2 more hotter than Da Bomb. You ready for it?
2 more. Here we go. All right. Hellfire. Oh.
All right. Well, while you're letting that one marinate in your mouth, you've displayed time and time again a love for your children on the stage and share with us each week about your love for them. Being that it's Father's Day, I wonder if you could share with us what it means to you to be a father, and if you could speak to all the fathers in the crowd watching today, what's one piece of advice you would like to give them?
Oh, that's a really hard question to answer for a lot of reasons. One, because that is freaking hot. I think being a dad is something, being a great dad is something I want to be, but it's hard to be something that you've never had. And for me, I guess I've tried to learn to be a dad by watching dads that I really admire. You're one of them. Chris is another one. Art Fuller is another person who comes to mind. And of course, my father-in-law, Alan, who's just amazing. And so watching them has been one thing. So anything I think I've done right, I've kind of learned from observation. So I would say, dads, be watchers, be mindful, learn from people that are in front of you and ahead of you in many ways. And nobody does it perfectly. But I think the thing I would offer as advice just from my learning experience would be, you can't create quality time. You just can't do it. It's not something you can create, but you can create quantity time. I think I've in my experience with Emma, who's 16 now, for the last 12 years of her life, we've been apart, and she comes home to be with us for maybe 48 hours a month. Wow. And so I feel the pressure, and you've even put the pressure on her to try to make up for 29 days in 2 days. And you just can't. You just can't make up for that lost time. And even when you try, all you do is create pressure on yourself and on your child. And so I've learned the hard way, and I've hurt her by trying to do that even. And so for me, it's really a lesson of, you can't create quality time. You can only create quantity time. And quality time is an accident that happens out of quantity time. Wow. So it's like, the more time that you can create, the more opportunity you have for those accidental moments where it's like that 5 minutes or that amazing conversation or that thing that will last in their memory forever. You can't create it. So do all you can, say no to as many good things as you can, to say yes to your kids, and create as much time to allow those accidental, awesome moments to happen. That's the best advice I can give, and I've sadly had to learn it the hard way.
That's so valuable. Yeah. All right, well, this is it, man. You did it. You survived the gauntlet.
I'm
you
dying.
made it through the valley of the shadow of death. We are on our final sauce. And as they do on Hot Ones, they have a tradition of doing the last dab where they add just a little bit extra to the final wing. And I feel like you're the kind of guy.
I touched my eyes. I touched my eyes.
I feel like you're the kind of guy that would like to jump into the last dab.
You got to go big or go home, man.
All right, so there you go. It's the Apollo, the hottest one on the market right now.
How much did you put on there?
No.
I won't be outdone, man.
Wow. Wow.
All right. Cheers, brother.
Right. Cheers, brother. Here we go.
The last dab, baby.
Dab.
Here we are. All right. No, sir.
Well, as I said, you did it. You made it through the valley of the shadow of death. You see the sunrise coming up behind the hills. You know, Scott, that there is a tomorrow.
Yeah.
What does tomorrow look like for you?
I don't know that there is a tomorrow, man. I get through tonight. Tomorrow for me, want to continue to be the best husband I can be. I have the love of my life in my life, and want to be the best husband I can be and the best friend I can be. Want to be the best dad I can be to my two beautiful children, and want to be the best pastor and leader as I can be. A lot to learn, a lot of ways to grow, but I'm so excited about our church. I'm so excited about where God has taken us, where God is taking us. I believe our best days are in front of us. I'm excited for this next year of ministry. We've just shared with our membership and with our staff and leadership that we're going to refocus over this next year. Refocus on our mission, refocus on our vision, and cultivating our culture, and really setting us forward on the path that's going to take us to amazing things. God is going to use this church in ways we can't even begin to imagine, and I'm just thrilled to have a front row seat to all of it. So I'm really excited. Hope I make it to there. No promise. I'm sweating. My stomach is hurting. It's turning already. Buddy, this is rough. This is rough.
Well, dude, look at you, man. Look at you, Scott Myers-Landry. You made it. You faced the whole lineup of the wings of death. You got through the other side.
Yeah.
Who knows what tomorrow's going to bring, but you did it tonight.
Yeah.
How about we just send people on and let people know what is coming up at the bridge?
What's coming up at the Bridge? Starting next week, I'm beginning a brand new series called The Three Stooges, and we're going to be looking at a famous passage of Scripture, three people who had similar opportunity but did not experience the same outcome. And I'm really looking forward to that series. I hope that you'll be back with us, whether it's in person or online. I would encourage you to check out the video because I don't know if I'll be here in person next week, but I'm really looking forward to that series and looking forward to everything that God is going to do in and through this church. Can't wait to experience it with you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Scott. I know you got places to go, places to be. Thanks a lot for joining me. Same time next week?
Yeah, same time. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
All right.
Oh my goodness, that looked painful. I'm so glad I didn't have to do it. But thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Scott, for subjecting yourselves to that for our entertainment. It was a lot of fun, and thank you to Scott for being a little bit vulnerable and sharing a little bit more of your story today. Well, as we close out today, there's a couple things I want to make mention of. The first, we've been mentioning it for a few weeks now, but if you've got kids in the Ottawa area, you are going to want to make sure you sign them up for our Bridge Kids Making Wave Summer Camp. It's going to be amazing. It always is. Lisa and her team do a phenomenal job of just making this an absolute amazing event for our kiddos. We have over 130 kids already signed up that are going to be in the Ottawa area in our auditorium, singing, playing games, doing crafts, doing all sorts of activities. It is going to be an amazing, amazing week, and I just cannot wait to be a part of it. My daughter has been looking forward to this for a few years now, to be back and in person. Your kids are not going to want to make it. So if you're in the Ottawa area, have little kids, or know someone in the Ottawa area who has little kids, you are going to want to make sure they sign up for this event. The registration deadline is fast approaching. So if you want a little more information or want to register your children, or you'd love to register as a volunteer, please go to bridgechurches.ca/top3 to be a part of it. We'd love to see you there. And as we close, I just want to thank those who give week after week after week. Because of your generosity, because you give financially, you help us build bridges between unchurched people and Jesus. Like having 100+ kids in the auditorium, kids who have never gone to church any other time of the year. Their parents want to sign them up for this amazing camp. They love being a part of it. They've been a part in the past, and they cannot wait. And I am just so thankful we're able to do this and reach out to them, reach out to their families, minister to them, teach them about the love of Jesus. And we're able to do that because of your generosity. So if you give financially week after week after week, a huge thank you. If you have not done so yet and would love to be a part of building those bridges with us, if you want to partner with us in that way, again, we'd love for you to go to bridgechurches.ca/top3. At the bottom, you will see an option to give. And thank you so much for all those who do and help us build those bridges. Well, until next week, we have a great week. God bless. See you next time.